sculptor Michelangelo was asked how he got in the flow and made the lovely David from a giant block of stone. He said, well, he was in there waiting. My job was simply excavating. I just took away what did not belong. And I know somewhere not so deep inside of me lives that perfect soul that I was meant to be. Let me be the way I was created. Let me find a pure and simple heart. I'll chip away all jealousy and hatred and reveal God's perfect work of art. Well, I think we're born on angels' wings. Heaven sends such graceful things, like love without condition, knowing we are not alone. Then descends the soul's dark night, shadows come and block the light, and as the years go by, we turn to stone. My block of stone is made of fear and doubt, but the real me is crying to come out. Let me be the way I was created. Let me find a pure and simple heart. I'll chip away all jealousy and hatred and reveal God's perfect work of art. I'll reveal God's perfect work of art.
There we go. That's what I was waiting for. Good morning, Unity of Payson. I'm delighted to see all of you here and to have you, those of you who are joining us online, be with us here. We are one. We are one. Even in our very creation, there was a oneness about it. It wasn't separate. There was a oneness, and that oneness we've sometimes lost track of. Today we're going to focus on the oneness that we are, wonderful in our creation. Would you take just a moment to join me in an opening word of prayer? God of all goodness, we are wonderfully created. There is perfection at the very root of who we are. And we have the marvelous opportunity to return to that perfection and express it in the world. So this morning as we gather, let us each one look to see how we can move one step closer to the masterful creation that we truly are. Again, I am grateful for each one who has joined us here in person and online. We are so blessed. And we are so grateful. And so it is. Amen. Well, we're going to have an opening song. Oh, I should mention, there's bringing a few things that are going to be a little different in the service this morning. So if you're looking at the slides, look at them, even though you think you know what we're going to say, because we might be saying something a little bit different. So we're going to change things up just a little bit, a fresh look at some of the things that we do And what we're doing today also is to have some song leaders. We're going to stand together for those of you who are here in person, and we're going to, as we sing our opening song, Something Wonderful, Jennifer and Donna are going to join me up here. They may shake a little something or sing a little something. And for those of you who are here in person, we invite you to stand. And here we go. And Betty's shaking too.
Oh, oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. And all this love inside, we can't let it shine. Oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening today right here, right now. Aye, something wonderful is happening to me. Gonna happen to me. It's happening to me. Something wonderful. Something happening to me. Right. Can you feel it? Right now. Right here, right now. There's something wonderful.
All right.
Good job. That was fun. Ooh. All right. We'll do our welcome and connection time, and then blessing of the visitors. Okay, welcome to Unity of Payson. My name is Donna. I'm your platform hostess this morning. We're glad you're with us. If you're with us online, can't see how many people are online. Oh, okay. Oh, the Karen is here. Karen and Bobby and Kay and Roni. TJ and Roni. I don't have my computer glasses on. Okay, so let's see.
Donna, look at the slide when we do
Okay, I don't know what that means, but I'm just going to go on right now. It's on there.
Okay.
Okay. It's on here too. It's everywhere. It's all around me. Okay. If you're joining us online, Reverend Neal invites you to remain after the service so he may greet you. If you're with us in person, please stay for some refreshments. I notice we have some fresh vegetables in the back. Peppers. I saw peppers. Tomatoes and eggplant. Okay, that's my eyes. They look like peppers. Okay. If you'd like to be informed of our weekly activities, you may go to our website, unityofpayson.org, and you may leave your contact information, and we will send you our Monday e-newsletter. So, again, we warmly welcome you. And let's say our blessing from our Unity of Payson family. We love you, we appreciate you, we welcome you, and we bless the Christ you are. I've got we bless, and you've got we behold. So okay. I think blessing and beholding is just fine. Okay, gratitudes. We're grateful for those who support Unity of Payson with time, talent, and treasure. And we're grateful for all of the events we continue to hold hybrid, and for the technology that allows us to meet both in person and virtually. It's been a long haul, but we're going to get there with live music next week. I do so believe. I've been up here, whenever I'm platforming, I'm like, we have to have live music. We have to have live music. And we're getting it. So that's wonderful. If you have a gratitude to share, would you like to raise your hand to be recognized? And also you can do that online as well. Could you put a gallery view up for me? Thank you.
I just want to be thankful for 24 years of sobriety.
Yay! 24 years of sobriety.
Today.
Happy birthday.
This is Betty, and it's kind of a simple gratitude, but yesterday morning was really beautiful. We were out, Pat and I were out in the backyard before the sun came up, just puttering, doing little things. And I was working on repainting my totem pole that I made in the backyard. And just little things like that, and how wonderful we had some slow jazz on. And it was just a beautiful morning, and being in gratitude for the companionship, for the morning, for the music. It was just a lovely, lovely morning.
Thank you, Betty.
Hi, this is Jen, and I am very grateful that my husband is still with us. he's doing very, very well, and we thank you for all the prayers, because I know lots of people did, and he's doing amazingly well. So very
Yay! Bouncing back, resilient. Brenda.
Wednesday was the 76-year milestone for me. And I thank God for where I've been. Who knows where I'm going?
We do. You're going with us, Brenda. Okay. Anybody online want to share gratitude? I don't see any hands raised. All right. I'm really loving the beautiful mornings too. It reminds me of being in Ahihik. I was getting up a lot earlier. Well, first of all, they're an hour later.
Can you say that again?
Ahihik. Ahihik. It sounds like a hiccup, but the accent is on the third.
Tell everybody what that is.
That is in Jalisco, Mexico. And it is a beautiful place. And we joined Namaste Unity in Ajijic and all their activities for a week when we were gone. And it was very alive, but the weather in the morning, it rains at night in August. It doesn't rain during the day. So everything is nice and green, like in Payson, and cool. The temperature average is 76, which is like San Diego to me. And I used to live in San Diego, and I love that temperature. So there's a lot to say about it, but the coolness of the mornings here in Payson remind me of that. It was really lovely. So, and it's good to be home. And, you know, they're amazingly similar in a lot of ways, that area and that unity and this area. Okay. So we're going to talk about unity is grounded in meditation and affirmative prayer. And we have trained prayer chaplains here to support you. And raise your hand if you're a prayer chaplain. I am also. Thank you. And you can meet with us after the service if you have a prayer request, or you can place your request in the prayer box at the greeter table where Charlotte is sitting. And I'm so glad to see Charlotte back. Yay. We have a greeter. It's wonderful. Okay. Our prayer team joins with you in prayer for 30 days and then sends your request on to Silent Unity, which they will pray with you another 30 days. And their prayer vigil is 24/7. It's very powerful. And leave your contact information if you would like a chaplain to contact you during the week. Okay. Unity of Payson's theme for August, created to be creative. Let's do our affirmation together. I am created in the image and likeness of the divine. I am created to be creative. And our speaker is Reverend Neal Worthington. Just like the Master is the title of his talk. And now for our metaphysical moment, I have the daily word, and today's daily word for August 18th is wholeness. As a divine being, I am whole. I know I am whole, wondrously made, and a unique expression of the divine. But I cannot truly know wholeness if I become distracted by thoughts of lack or limitation. I don't resist limiting thoughts, but instead I let the light of divine understanding dissolve the darkness of spiritual ignorance. Remembering that divine life lives as me, I affirm my body's wholeness, even if I experience illness. I affirm the allness, even in the illness. Growing awareness of the limitless flow of divine ideas reminds me I have all I need to experience a joyous, abundant life. And I say yes again and again to my true spiritual nature. And as I do that, my life becomes an ever-unfolding demonstration of wholeness. Ah, yes. And from Luke 11:36, if then your whole body is full of light, with no part of it in darkness, it will be as full of light as when a lamp gives you light with its rays. So we're light beings, so let us shine. And now our speaker, Reverend Neal, will give his message to us.
in the mid 15th century. Oh, this is quiz time again. We're looking for a person. When you recognize who that person is, just go ahead and speak it out. Mid 15th century, a boy was born out of wedlock to a father who later married somebody else and a mother who later married someone else, but he was born out of wedlock but cared for. This was in the countryside near Florence in Italy. Well, you didn't have to get it so quick, did you? We'll get there. Yes, it was Leonardo da Vinci. He had little formal education, but it was recognized that he had some artistic talent. So at the age of 14, he became a studio boy in the studio of the most famous and foremost Italian painter in that Florence area. And as a studio boy, he had all sorts of tasks. But eventually, he worked his way up to, at age 17, apprentice. And he was an apprentice to this master. Well, soon his talents became more and more recognized, and he collaborated with the master. In fact, there's one report that says because students then would paint a lot of the painting and the master would kind of finish it off. Concept and then, but it all came together because the students, the apprentices, were doing a lot of the painting. It is said that on one painting, on the baptism of Christ, the brush strokes and the beauty of what he did so astounded the master that the master put down a paintbrush and never painted again. I'm not sure if that's an exact story, but the point is there. He rose, and at age 20, he became declared by the Artists Guild a master already at age 20. Didn't quit there, though. He continued to paint. More and more his paintings were desired, and he was also a draftsman, a great thinker. And Betty, I know you have a book that say How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci, because he was an extraordinary Renaissance man. Of course, it took him a few years to come to the zenith of his painting skill, his absolute mastery, and the most famous painting in the world, which is the Mona Lisa, was painted when he was between 50 and 60 years old. So a lot of years of painting to really confirm the mastery that he had. So that's what we're going to talk about today, the title being Just Like the Master. We're going to talk about mastery, which Leonardo was an exemplar dramatically for us. So we'll talk about a little bit how we were created in the splendor of mastery. So easy for us to think of our creation as a man-like being, it kind of in our image, that created us. But we are learning that the divine, all that is, God as we know it, whatever name we have for that, is principle. We can't just limit it to the limitations of our understanding as man. So we're going to look at that mastery, that principle, that divine principle, and how we as creatures created from that mastery also were born to create. That extends right down to us. As I spoke just a little earlier, we were one with that divine, one with that all that is, one with that great goodness, one with that wonderful universal principle that we have an opportunity to express in our lives. We may not know that we have an aptitude and an ability for mastery. I certainly didn't for many years of my life, but now I'm thinking that it could be so. Anyways, we discussed this. I've got a few things that I want to go through, but I put together our key spiritual truth. And here it is. We masterfully create when we emulate the master. Diligently put into practice what we wish to learn and boldly engage in creation. Let's start. First, I think it's important, if you're going to be someone who's striving for mastery, to study the master. Think of little Leonardo, 14, 15 years old. He meant to be watching everything that the master was doing. He studied the master. And so it is for us. Creator, and I'm using that word as opposed to a kind of anthropomorphic creator, or that bundle of amazing, immense, unlimited, beneficial energy, that divine principle. Creator is there at that very genesis of that, or at least as far as we can understand a beginning. But that mastery, that divine principle, was implanted in us in our creation. And so we were, as though it was, had the legacy, the skills, the ability, the mastery, the possibility for that in an unlimited fashion were passed along to us. It wasn't just that we were in the likeness of the divine, but that we were created to be like the divine. And there's a little distinction there, as you probably see. As an expression, in the world, in this world, I want to be like the divine. I want to be like all that is. I want to be like God. I want to be like Source, because that possibility, that potential is there in me. As I was working with the theme of this message this week, something came up for me that was really extraordinary for me. I usually spend a quiet time every morning, so I'm in meditation and in quiet. And out of that came two questions for me about who I am and how I am to express in the world. And they were these simply, and they came out of that word for word. Who am I to be? Who am I to be today? And what am I to do? What am I to do today? That ability to be all that I can is implanted. That desire to make that come into my life is there for me. And so throughout the week, I would answer those questions every day. Yesterday, the answer was to be innovative. But in my reflection in that morning, I opened myself to the knowing of who I am to be today and what I am to do today. I want to be like the master. I want to emulate that mastery that was part of my very creation and part of the creation of all that is. You remember the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. You probably heard that before. Well, sometimes we're a little slow at this. We're a little slow catching on that mastery is within our reach, that mastery is a goal that we can move toward, that we can evolve toward, that we can grow toward. And so when we're ready, we're ready. There are various stages where suddenly I realized that I had a new readiness. And I'm sure the same is true for you. Let me say a word about creation. The very nature of our being created was that we are to be creative, as we've already said. However, we get to choose how we employ that creative potential in our lives. One of the things that we often talk about is ego self and higher self, kind of two different sides of this. Well, we can employ that creative potential in our lives from our ego state, from the state that says everything's about me. Or we can employ it from the state of our higher self, the divine within us that says it's all about one. It's all about oneness. So our challenge as we are expressions in the world is to be expressions of the divine, continuing that link from the divine to the divine within us and then into the world. So it's not only the idea of studying the master. The next step that I see is that we practice and experiment. So take a different metaphor for a minute. A master carpenter. And you remember that Jesus was the son of a carpenter, so probably he experienced some of this on that human level. The master carpenter acquires some basic skill, has some unique tools, and uses them again and again and again until he finally can make the cabinet. Now, Tom, I'm not going to put the finger on you, but we have an offering basket back there by the door. And we're going to change some things about the way we do offering here. And we appreciate the gifts. But Tom took some tools that he had, some skill that he had developed. We're not gonna put you down in history yet, Tom. But if you look, there's a very beautiful bit of woodwork at that table underneath that basket. Pick up the basket and look at the top of that table. Well, this is it. Tom took those tools and he worked with them. He practiced it again and again. And I suppose if he was really called to be a master carpenter, he'd still be practicing. Are you still practicing? No, anyway, Tom, I want to ask you that question. But his calling may be different to that. But it's an example of how we have tools that we can use, and as we persevere, as we're tenaciously wanting to get to that point of mastery, that we achieve a certain level. And I think it goes in levels, level after level after level of mastery. In order to do this, we need that power that we talk about, and you need the power of strength. That's the power to persevere, the power to be tenacious. We have an urge within us, and we don't just kind of let it go. We hang on to it, and we keep reaching. We keep reaching to express that. And so we develop our skills. We practice. Is spiritual practice a part of your life? If you would achieve some level, the next level of spiritual mastery, you probably need a spiritual practice. I know one of the people in this congregation who has told me that meditation was a challenge. He had tried this and he had tried that and he had tried a number of other things. Never seemed to be able to get the hang of it. But the report is now that he found a way. And now that is a part of his practice. Do we stop short of persevering, of hanging onto that which is wanting to come through us? It's called discipline sometimes, but do we exercise that to be able to do it? Like that song we had for our gathering song. Sometimes it requires chipping away some things that are excess, that don't belong to that image, that likeness, what we want to be like. So there's some things that need to go to the side. We have to let go of a few things. In the epistle in the Christian scriptures, Corinthians, there's the metaphor of an athlete that trains. And that's appropriate right now because we've just gotten through the Olympic, and we've had athletes from around the world who have spent months and months and years of training in order to reach a certain level of mastery which allowed them to compete. Well, the same is true for us on a spiritual level. Are we continually training, or are we just kind of letting it happen? Are we being spiritually lazy, or do we have that spiritual urge to expand and to emerge and to evolve? Are we allowing that to translate into our ability to use those gifts in a dedicated, intentional way? So one of the things that also kind of keeps us from getting to that, we know what our true heart's desires are. Well, sometimes we do, and sometimes we have to do a little digging. But they're available to us. What is that real heart's desire? Not just a wish or a hope or, oh, I'd love to do that. But what is that true heart's desire? From a spiritual perspective, what do you want to be in terms of a spiritual what level of spiritual mastery do you want in your life, or don't you care? I suggest that there's a wonderful opportunity in caring and pursuing that spiritual maturity. One of my shortfall approaches was to be, as we say, a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Sometimes we're so scattered that we don't really hone the capability that we have, the potential that we have. And when we do that, it's really satisfying, because as we develop our spiritual track, we find that it has a unique twist for each of us. We're unique individuals, part of the oneness, but also with a certain uniqueness that makes the whole even more. And so we delight in the fact that we are unique. How do you do that? Well, I'm not quite to that part yet, but I want to just share one thing, a beautiful scripture. We know how important our thought and our intentional thought is. If we would look for that level of mastery, that level of spiritual growth, Philippians 4:8 is a scripture that tells us in a very simple way how we can do that. Finally, beloved, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, and if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. How about that? We all have the power of thought, and we have the power to choose our thoughts. Would you want to make some progress toward mastery? Choose your thought. A good place to start. So then, after you've achieved a certain level of mastery, we get to the third point. Creating with confidence. Sometimes we're timid. I have been. We're timid about doing something because we are concerned about what somebody else thinks. We're getting the urge from within, or we're listening to the voices without. Say, well, maybe I better not push that too much. Maybe I better not talk about that too much. Maybe I better not let that show because somebody else doesn't agree with that. They have a different opinion. So we minimally create when we could be creating with confidence, despite what someone else may have an opinion that's somewhat different than where we're at. It all starts back with thought. And I'm going to equate thought with what we talk about a lot, meditation. That's thought connected with the divine, connected with all that is, connected with the great intelligence, the great wisdom, the great love that is true of that universal principle that we may call God. Not just happen, we don't just hear about this from a Christian perspective. Listen to the words of the Buddha. Meditate. Live purely. Be quiet. Do your work with mastery. Like the moon, come out from behind the clouds. Shine. Did you know that you can create with confidence? Takes stepping up on that ladder toward mastery a little bit. But you can get there, and don't hesitate to do that. Hesitation is the thing that'll keep you back. Even if you're experimenting still and you're not 100% sure about it, if you've got that urge, follow the urge. Remember that we're not alone in this. We're part of the oneness that all is, of all that is. The divine is within us. The Christ in you, as it's sometimes put. We have the opportunity to be like the Master. One of the principles that we have that's part of that divine principle, that principle of mastery, is the principle of love. Easy word to talk about. But it's the opposite of something that from our ego state, when we go back and look at that we experience all the time. Well, hopefully less and less, and that's fear. So remember, anybody, the old story, it's written in the book of Daniel in the Hebrew scriptures about the 3 righteous men who were tossed into a fiery furnace. Anybody remember that one? Fearlessly, they faced that circumstance. And the truth that's beneath that story is that as we face each circumstance and we let go of it to allow that love without condition to take over, we then can boldly create. Of course, you're probably not going to get thrown in a furnace, but there's going to be a circumstance in your life that's going to challenge you. It's going to be fearful at first. Face it. As best you can, let go of that fear, which is another way of saying exercise whatever trust you can. And boldly create something different in your life. You know, if you do that, if you let go of that fear, if you set an intention to create something that's loving, that's just like those words that we spoke of from Philippians, if you set that intention, you're going to move up. If you hold that intention, you're going to continue to move. And eventually, you're going to be creating with confidence, whatever the circumstance may be. That creation will reflect the wonder of divine goodness. That state of creating with confidence will allow you to let awe course through your very being. When you use the tools, when you let go of those limitations, whether it be fear or something else, that's there. You can create with confidence and achieve a level of mastery. You will be just like the master. Not that there's not going to be a continual growth for you, but you're going to reflect. You've seen those people that seem like they're absolute love. You've seen those people that are come up with some wisdom, or any one of the other powers, people that have endured, people that have a great sense of imagination or a great sense of enthusiasm. All of these spiritual gifts, all of these spiritual powers that we have are available. As we, and I'm going to put that key spiritual truth, we masterfully create when we emulate the master, diligently put into practice what we wish to learn, and boldly engage in co-creation. We're doing that with the divine. It's not a separate or alone kind of thing. But now we get down to, how do I do that? Well, I was trying to think up something really good. And Donna said, well, why don't you just use the 3 points that you had there? Invest your time with mastery. Knowing mastery, learning mastery, observing mastery. And you know what those things are, and one of them is unique to you. Perhaps you're a reader. And you look at that bookshelf, and if you know it, that book that you just need to help you on your way to mastery falls off the shelf, almost literally, if that's your intention. What about other inputs? There's some amazing in our current world. There are podcasts, there are recordings, there are all sorts of inputs that we can choose that will help us to study mastery. Of course, we don't ever limit ourselves to quiet, to prayer, and to meditation. And if you're on a learning curve there, keep at it. So number one, study the master. Get to know mastery. Practice. And you may not be able to practice everything that you've wanted to do. Maybe meditation is your current practice. Maybe just sitting in stillness is your practice. Maybe looking for something good in the world, speaking something just. Maybe that's where you're at in terms of your spiritual practice. Your journey is unique, but practice. Whatever's nudging you from the inside, that's a divine nudge, that intuitive sense. Practice that. Practice that and begin to know mastery. And then when you've observed, when you've studied, when you've practiced, then get down to that third part, how you do it. Create with confidence. Don't think about what somebody else is going to think of what you are doing. When that nudge has come from within, when you've been able to work on that, to practice that thing, then just don't hesitate. Go ahead and express it into the world. I guarantee you, you'll be a lot happier in the end when you don't hesitate, when you go ahead and follow that divine urge. Remember Leonardo? How many years? Wow. Took him until he was nearly 60 years old to create the Mona Lisa, and he started as a boy of 14. He did some work along the way. And eventually he got to the point where he expressed that with confidence. The Mona Lisa is the laughing woman, I think, or something like that, that enigmatic smile that the Mona Lisa has, just incomparable, and which is why it's the best loved painting in the world. But it came as a result of stepping up, persisting, tenaciously going. Well, how about you and I doing that in terms of our spiritual journey? Step up, step up. Maybe a slow start, maybe a little reverse here and there, but step up to mastery. And then you will know that you can be just like the master. And so it is.
It's time to prepare for meditation. And our meditation song is Listen, Listen, Listen.
Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee.
Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee.
Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee.
And now's the time for us to go into the silence and to listen. So allow your plans for today, the thoughts that keep coming back again and again, allow them to just slip to the side. If they come back, kind of nudge them to the side again. And be in the stillness. Be in the place where you can wholeheartedly listen. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Be still. So, in the stillness of your own soul, recognize that Christ is in you. You are the Christ, the unique expression that you are in the world. So when you say, how do I achieve some mastery? Don't always look out, look in. Look into the Christ that you are. Reflective of that great goodness of all that is, that divine principle that is life, that is love, that is light. Spend a moment looking within and listening. And as you listened, what did you hear? Did you hear what you are to be? Did you hear what you are to do? Did you have a clue as to what skill to employ? A clue as to what practice to strengthen? And perhaps you heard the voice that says boldly express the divine in you into the world. Spend another moment in the silence reflecting on these things. And so in deep gratitude for the very nature of our creation, our connection, our oneness with all that is, we return to an awareness of this time and this place. Newly motivated, with new intention, with new direction, as we continue on our road to mastery. So bring your awareness back to this time and place, and open your eyes if you have them closed, and breathe, be here, and be grateful. And so it is.
So, Neal alluded to it a little while ago, but our offering time will be a bit different this morning. Unity of Payson is a source of spiritual nourishment and inspiration In this community, we receive gratefully and give generously. So, we greatly appreciate your gifts in support of this ministry. Your gifts not only support this ministry, but they go out to the larger community. If you're here in person, we've placed a basket by the door to receive your gift. We encourage you to give any time that you feel inspired to do so, before or after a service or a class. For those online and those who wish to make a recurring gift, you may donate at our website, unityofpayson.org. Information for giving is on the slides. Our giving information is printed on a plaque on the wall above the basket. And if you'd like to say it together with me now, freely we give and freely we receive. And we thank you for your support. Our special music today is Amazing Things.
Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. You will do amazing things with a choice each new day brings, and with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when, or where, or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and smile. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing amazing things.
So let's do our offering dedication at this time. We are grateful for all the gifts that, okay. We are grateful for the gifts that have been given and will be given, and for the divine promise of abundance. We bless the gifts and those who give, as we say together, divine love flows through us, blessing and multiplying all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. We are prosperous without limit. We gratefully give thanks. Thank you for joining me in that. And we have next Sunday's speaker, Reverend Neal Worthington, and the title of his talk is, Have You Seen That New Exhibition? Okay. Well, we'll have to come and see it. It was created just for us. Okay, I'm going to share a few announcements, and please check the website for other information, unityofpayson.org, or the Monday e-newsletter for all the details. We have A Course in Miracles Tuesday, the 20th, from 3 to 4:30 p.m. on Zoom. And on Saturdays, we have morning coffee at 9:30, and 4 p.m. we have Saturday Soul Boost. We're going to start a Codependence Anonymous book study in next month. It'll mark your calendar. It'll start Saturday, the 14th of September at 2:30. It will be hybrid. We'll be here and also on Zoom. Please check out our gift shop and library after the service. And a PS from Neal.
Thank you for working through a few changes today with us. We hope that brings a little freshness and perhaps new meaning to some of the things that we do regularly. At the end, we're going to do a little different take. We'll do the prayer for protection first, and we'll go out with the peace song at the very end. Again, if you're with us online, please hang in there. I'd like to greet you after we have the peace song. Betty, did you have something? Yeah, from the board. From the board. Betty's gone up.
Just that it's a time to think about if you want to step up and be an officer on the board. The first part of October, we need to publish who nominations might be. And so this year in particular, our treasurer had to step back, and I have been on the board so long, I've timed out. So we are looking for treasurer and for secretary. And if you have any questions about it, please let me know. But we really encourage everybody, and online. I know some of you live here in town, so you could definitely serve also. So just be thinking about it if you're ready to step up to a higher level of spiritual action. So.
Thank you, Betty. So it's time for the close of our service. Again, we'll do the prayer for protection first. I think today, let's just stand up, grab a hand if you'd like. Whoops. Rick didn't take the advice to grab a hand. So you grab a hand, circle up. Anyway, we'll do the prayer for protection. Are we circling? No, we won't circle up today. We'll just grab a hand and We have the prayer for protection, so let's begin with that. Here we go. There we go. That'll work. Anyway.
We're going to circle anyway.
Well, you're going to do what you're going to do. I know. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. And the presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And Terry will go back there and start the music for us, and we'll sing the peace song.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that is meant to be. With God as creator, family are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every step I take, this is my joyous thought. I take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Thank you all for being here today. Goodies in the back for those in person, and Terry's going to give us the gallery view, and I'd like to greet those who are here with us virtually, I should say. Oh, so looks like a couple people have left early, but happy to greet you, Bobby. I'd love to see you here. And then Karen, you are faithful. And when you're not able to be here in person, I see you online. Thank you for being with us this morning. And Marianne, our dear Marianne, who is almost always here, even though she's distant from us in terms of in person here. Marianne, you are the heart and soul of Unity of Payson, even though you're not in Payson. So thank you all. We'll see you all soon again, and have a good afternoon.